WGAL News 8 Today starts now.
It is 6 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us here on News 8 Today. This is a live look from our Lebanon Skycam, and maybe if you're waking up feeling refreshed, it's because the wind didn't keep you up last night. Definitely less breezy this morning, so we'll take that. Good morning, I'm Matt Barcaro.
I'm Caitlin Smith. Let's go right over to Christine because the wind may return, or we're kissing it goodbye today.
We're done with it, right?
All right,
Kick that thing to the curb. So we are going to look for calmer conditions today, tomorrow, even at the end of the week. The wind really won't be brisk, so that's some good news. A break for us. Right now, the clouds are clearing. They've cleared overnight, but the other clouds coming in from the west, they're already advancing toward Pittsburgh, so we should be seeing increasing clouds here shortly. Temperature check: 32 in Carlisle, 30 in York. We have 32 degrees in Lancaster. Winds are relatively light compared to the past couple of days. 5 miles per hour really at the worst this morning, so we are in good shape. Now, the sunshine today, limited time offer for the morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon, and then we will see cloudy skies toward evening with that rain starting to come in, especially after the evening commute into tonight. So the majority of your day is dry. It's just going to be kind of chilly today with 46 for the high.
And the sun is kind of expensive. We need to bring it all out to get a little bit of sun. So, all right. Well, at least we get a tiny bit this morning.
A little bit this morning, yes.
All right, sounds good, Christine. Thank you. It's 6:01 on your Tuesday morning. Hello to you and happy Tuesday. Right now, we're just monitoring a couple of spots right now. Wanted to tell you the crash in Manheim Township in Lancaster County, that has cleared. We're still following, though, the slowdown. It looks like it's gotten a lot better. You can see more of that green, but a little bit of yellow there on I-81 near Linglestown. This is southbound. And let's check back in to that camera there on I-81. Traffic is flowing free and clear, so that is good news there. I wanted to show you the crash also in York County. This one is still on the map, East Manchester Township in York County. We're monitoring that. It looks like traffic is still moving through the area, so that is good news. We'll have another update for you in about 5 minutes.
This has been a Lancaster Toyota traffic report.
Thank you, Regina. Thousands of children and families are experiencing homelessness across the state. And in order to help, an organization in the Susquehanna Valley is collecting some handmade blankets.
News 8's Gabrielle Thomas is joining us live at the state capitol with how you can contribute to that collection. Gabrielle?
Good morning, Matt and Caitlin. You can see here these blankets behind me. They are handmade, but the color holds a deeper meaning. Each red blanket represents one of those 50,000 children who are experiencing homelessness. And today, Memorial Blanket is raising awareness for them. Take a look at this video on your screen. All of those blankets are usually laid out at the state capitol, and they will be in a few weeks. But today, they're focusing on advocating for children experiencing homelessness. Now, I have Pat Lamarche joining me this morning. She is with Memorial Blanket. Pat, what's the purpose behind the project, and why is this so important for the community?
Well, we always seem to do candlelight vigils, especially on the longest night of the year, December 21st, which is when we put the blankets out. And that's very important. I mean, people don't just live on the street, they die on the street, and we talk about that. But that always conjures up that stereotypical image of the hobo, if you will, that's tucked on a street corner. And so this day, this week, and Red Shirt Day on Friday, when people are asked to wear red shirts, is to point out that homelessness affects so many people, every demographic. The elderly are the largest growing subset of homelessness, but babies, toddlers, and then their bigger brothers and sisters experiencing homelessness while they're trying to get an education. So that's why we're here today.
And how many volunteers are a part of this project? You mentioned that, we talked a little bit about, volunteers being involved in this project and these blankets being delivered to those children as well. So talk to me a little bit more about that.
Thousands. I am stunned by the number of people that get involved. The Charles Bruce Foundation, which is the parent organization for this event, there is not a single paid staff person, but we have thousands of blankets every year. So there are the thousands of people making the blankets. But then all of the organizations, at night when we fold the blankets up, we distribute them to the agencies who'll get the blankets into the hands of people who need them.
Pat, thank you. Well, Memorial Blanket is encouraging you to wear red on Friday to advocate for children experiencing homelessness. I'll have all the information on my Facebook if you would like to see it. Reporting live here in Harrisburg at the state capitol, I'm Gabrielle Thomas, WGAL News 8.
I got a jump start on the red memo, but we'll wear it again on Friday. All right, Gabrielle, thank you.
Also happening today in Harrisburg at the state capitol, lawmakers introducing a bill that they say is aimed at preventing the criminalization of homelessness. They say the Shelter First Act would require municipalities to provide indoor spaces for people experiencing homelessness before they can enforce any law to criminalize those living outside. Lawmakers say a U.S. Supreme Court ruling last year allowed for governments to put homeless people in jail instead of addressing the need for affordable housing. Lancaster State Representative Izzy Smith-Waddell is one of the lawmakers introducing this bill. They'll be doing that at 11 o'clock this morning at the state capitol.
And in Harrisburg, city leaders say there will soon be new affordable housing options. Today, a groundbreaking ceremony will happen for the Woodward Lofts Apartments. The $15.2 million project will turn a vacant property into 48 new apartments. That ceremony is set to start at 9 this morning on North 18th Street.
It is 6:05 right now, and the U.S. House in Washington could vote as soon as today to release the files in the Jeffrey Epstein case. Epstein died by suicide in jail after being charged with sex trafficking in 2019.
News 8's Rachel Hersheimer is joining us live from the Capitol. And Rachel, what is the president now saying about this?
Well, Matt and Caitlin, good morning to you both. We have been watching the president's stance change on this. Just yesterday, President Trump indicated that if the bill passes in the House and Senate, he will go ahead and sign this bill, while also noting it's distracting from some of his accomplishments.
What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party.
President Trump is not being accused by Epstein's victims and has denied any wrongdoing in connection with the alleged sex trafficker. A vote in the House would push a bill forward, forcing the Justice Department to release all files and communications involving Epstein. Now, this comes after House investigators released thousands of documents, including claims alleging President Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a sex trafficking victim and, quote, knew about the girls. The bill is expected to pass the House, but the future is uncertain in the Senate.
I think it's going to be a very big vote. I think we'll get at least a veto-proof majority.
This is one of the most horrific, disgusting scandals in American history. Jeffrey Epstein had a rape island where rich and powerful men went and either trafficked in women or raped underage girls.
Now, President Trump has the power to bypass this congressional resolution and have these files released on his own, but instead he is waiting for the bill to make its way to his desk. Matt and Caitlin, back to you.
And Rachel, it's not only the president who has changed his stance on the release of the files, but also House Speaker Mike Johnson. What is he saying about this now?
Yeah, just yesterday, House Speaker Mike Johnson told reporters that they'll vote on this, they'll get it done, they'll move on, also noting that he speaks with President Trump all the time and that he has nothing to hide. Now, the Speaker of the House also said that if it does pass in the House and moves on to the Senate, he wants to see the Senate change a part of the bill to protect victims and whistleblowers. Co-sponsor Thomas Massie, Republican from Kentucky, said that if it's anything but a genuine effort to make it better and stronger, it will backfire on the senators if they mess it up. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. Live on Capitol Hill. And a billboard campaign in support of releasing the Epstein files has made its way to Pennsylvania. This electronic billboard shows a message along Interstate 95 in Bensalem. That's about 20 miles northeast of Philly. The billboard is from World Without Exploitation. That's a coalition that combats human trafficking.
New this morning, Pennsylvania U.S. Senator Dave McCormick is praising President Trump for rolling back the tariffs he had put on cocoa and some other food products. McCormick says he's been calling on the administration to make changes to reciprocal tariffs on cocoa because cocoa cannot be grown in the United States. President Trump announced those rollbacks on Friday. He also ended reciprocal tariffs on other products like beef and coffee.
Nearly 1 million Pennsylvanians will benefit from a new tax credit passed as part of last week's state budget deal. Governor Shapiro and state lawmakers discussed this program at the Widener Commonwealth Law School yesterday. The Working Pennsylvanians tax credit is up to 10% of the earned income tax credit, which helps lower and moderate income people and families. The new credit could be worth as much as $805.
What it means is they might be able to afford the car repair so that they continue to work and pay for their families. It means a month's security deposit so they can move into a larger apartment to support their family. It means they can pay down debt. It means they can afford child care so they can continue to work.
Who are eligible for this benefit will automatically qualify for it.
While the state budget was passed, some organizations say they are still seeing a lag in payments. The YWCA in York says it's had to make some tough choices, like pausing the pre-K counts program and also laying off employees. It says until that money comes in, pre-K will stay paused and staffing will remain at a lower level.
But what we will do is reevaluate where we are, but at this current time, we are not planning to make any changes. But when the funds do come in hand and we have time to reevaluate, then we will discuss that further.
The YWCA says there are other procedures that have to happen before the state is able to send out that money.
Farmers had a chance to talk with Governor Shapiro about concerns over tariffs and a shortage of labor. Governor Shapiro spoke at the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau's banquet last night in Hershey.
We have together registered 11 new apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs to help train more young farmers from dairy herd management to urban agriculture. Listen, I'm proud of the fact that we have more farmers under the age of 35 than any other state in the nation. That sets us on a path to success and viability for many years to come.
We've got to figure out the labor crisis, right? Because farmers need labor. We need people to do the work on our farms. We need markets, right? So I'm working with the governor on some opportunities to open up markets. So it's just a constant conversation, working together.
Governor Shapiro also talked about the investments for farmers included in the new state budget, including programs that support food banks buying directly from farmers, grants for innovation, and money for poultry farmers who've been affected by bird flu.
York City leaders will be introducing the proposed budget plan for next year at tonight's City Council meeting. City leaders have been already holding public comment sessions about the spending plan for months leading up to this. They say it does not include any tax increases. So after reviewing it, the city clerk says council members will vote on that budget next month. The meeting tonight starts at 6 o'clock and will be streamed live on the city's Facebook and YouTube pages. It's 6:12. Let's check in with Christine and Regina.
Well, after 2 windy days, I wanted to show you our winds for today. Look at those sustained wind speeds staying between 5 and 10 miles per hour. It's music to our ears, Regina. Finally, we see those winds calm down and you can get the yard cleaned up. Leaves are everywhere.
I know. I feel like a lot of people will be busy today. Yeah, but cold at the same time. But
a little chilly today, 46.